Boom! This is the Blix Vika X. It's a really cool electric bike, and I like it a lot. But the worst part about this bike is actually some of the marketing material that I received with it, because they say that this bicycle is powered by AI. I know that this bike is not powered by AI at all, and I'll be happy to tell you in this review of the Vika X. Let's take a look. So Blix is not a new company that's just springing up out of nowhere. They've been around a long time, building up a really nice reputation for building practical, very beautiful electric bikes. As a matter of fact, I rode the earlier version of this one some 6 years ago or so with my daughter, shown here. But yeah, there's been a few versions since then. This is the latest and greatest. So check this out. This is a very practical electric bike. So in the frame, we're looking at a folding frame that packs up into something super tight. The frame, the pedals, the handlebars, all of these things fold up so that you can get this bike in a closet, under a desk, or in almost any trunk you can imagine. Maybe not that trunk in particular, I don't know what that is. But yeah, the center of gravity is really low. The natural feeling of pedaling this bike is super awesome. It's really good. You've got a good set of handlebars, you've got a good set of folding mechanisms. A lot of electric folding bikes, they feel awful when you ride them because they're super squirrely. But that's not the case with the Blix. They've got a really good set of folding handlebars that don't feel especially squirrely when you're steering. These are some awesome street tires with nice reflective stripes on the side. The disc brakes are nice and big with a hydraulic setup. I wish that the brakes were a little more name brand, and the reason for that is for serviceability. Another cool thing about it is the rack. So the rear rack is really awesome. You got a set of pretty thick pannier rails on the side, so you're not going to fit like the super tiny ones that are like a pencil. But if you get the bigger ones, my preference, then you can totally clip those on here, put them down for even lower weight. The top of the deck is nice and flat. It does have some windows that I think are made for a specific set of accessories. I tried to put on a really old kid's seat, like 7 or 8 year old kid's seat, and it didn't quite fit in here. So I think if you get an updated kid's seat, or if you look for compatibility, there should be a lot of things that can natively fit into this rack, which is pretty awesome. But my favorite part about the rack is actually the built-in tail light and turn signals. Now this is pretty sleek because not only does it have that functionality, but it's built into kind of the casing of the rack itself. This means that when you're loading and unloading stuff, you're going to lower your risk of bashing those lights because they're into the trim of the body of that rear rack instead of protruding out either underneath or on the side or something along those lines. I kind of wish that the rear light was bigger. It's nice and bright, and that's what counts the most. But I wish it was a taller size. Of course, that would compromise how sleek it would fit with everything else that I just complimented it on. But another thing is that it does fit just fine when you put the basket on the top. Now the rear basket, that's a cargo accessory. I'm kind of jumping all over the place in terms of what we're talking about. This cargo accessory is not exactly my favorite, and it doesn't really mesh well with me. I think you might have a good time with it, but in my case I have big feet, and so every time I pedal in the proper position, my heel was scraping up against the back of that rack. Now it's possible I could try to move it into a different position or mount it a little bit, but in the stock configuration, it wasn't going to work for me. The battery placement on this bike is a classic, putting it right behind the seat post tube. The seat post tube actually has metal flanges that come out and mate with that mount for the battery. And that's pretty cool because this battery setup, this battery mount and this battery casing is incredibly common. If you wanted to get this battery replaced, that wouldn't be hard at all because this mount and this battery is widely available, and that's cool. The post itself and the seat, nothing special. You want to switch those out, you can. I would highly encourage the seat especially. This seat is fine. It's not going to win an award. The battery capacity is a 48 volt, 12.7, I think 7.9 amp hour pack. So that's going to get a pretty good range. If I were riding this throttle only, I'd probably get, I don't know, somewhere around 30 miles, give or take. That's with no cargo. If I were to ride it gingerly on pedal assist, I'd probably see a lot more, maybe somewhere around, oh gosh, I don't know, 45, 50 or something. These are guesses just based on what I've done. These are not official specs. The Vika X is also equipped with pedal assist as well as a throttle, as well as automatic shifting, and we'll definitely get into that in a second. But with the pedal assist, it is a torque engaged pedal assist, which is awesome. Now, let me tell you something about the pedal assist, because even if you don't use the automatic feature or the throttle, this pedal assist is really good. I would definitely put it on par with some of the more name brand systems that you see out there in the market. Honestly, I'm a little sad about it because all the other features of this bike are going to overshadow what I think is really a home run in terms of components and design and tuning. That pedal assist on this Vika X really was impressive. It stood out to me as being really, really good. So yeah, I want to put that in there, that this pedal assist alone is a really good feature. I like it a lot. If you want to do the throttle, there is one up on the handlebars. You can totally twist that and dirt bike around if you'd like. Blix has put a lot of thought into how the bike is going to fold up and be transported. And I can tell by one amazing thing, other than the stuff I've already mentioned, this light mount is awesome. So this is the headlight and it's put up right with the display. I'm pretty sure this is an aluminum case that you've got that headlight in, and that is super dope. I love that because when you fold up this bike, it's going to get thrown around in a trunk. You're going to have something that you put this bike on top of, like some tools or a car jack or something, or just daily use of riding this bike around. So I love that. I love that so much. It's one of the things that really shows you that they're paying attention with all their years of experience. Got some pretty thick loom up here for all of the cabling, all of that into one big thing that comes out. Now it's not too, beautiful the way that you got this big loom just zip tied to the bottom of the bike. Kind of looks like a conversion, but you have to remember that this folding bike is especially sturdy. Okay, so I've been beating around the bush long enough. Let's go ahead and talk about the pedaling, the pedal assist, the automatic shifting, the AI powered. Let's get into all of that and we'll get into it right now. So this bike has automatic shifting. That is a really cool thing about it. What that means is that you can get on the bike, turn it into automatic mode, and then you pedal. And then when you pedal, the bike is going to automatically adjust the pedal assist level electronically, but it's also going to switch mechanical gears automatically. You don't have to press any additional buttons. You don't have to start or stop after you come up to a red light or anything. No, you just pedal along and the bike will do everything for you. That's really cool. I like this. I like it a lot. I find it intensely approachable for someone who's new to electric bikes, someone who's a little bit intimidated after not being on a bike for a long time. I have ridden other bikes that have an automatic shifting feature, but this is really big news that now there's automatic shifting bikes that are totally affordable. Any bike that had this kind of feature would have been closer to that 10,000 category just a few years ago, but now we're seeing something really cool. And I want to tell you how it works and the best thing that I love the most about this system. Let's go. I absolutely love the display and the information that is available to the rider on the Blix Vika X. This display is so cool. It is nice and bright, it's colorful, it's easy to use, and it's got a wealth of details. Check this out. This bike is indeed reading the torque sensor information, and with that it can give you an average of how much power your legs are putting into this ride versus the motor. I can't stress how cool this is because there's a lot of people who get into electric bikes for rehabilitation or to kind of track their workouts, and this is a really cool way to do that in terms of power output. There's a lot of apps that kind of track how fast you're going and where you're going by GPS and try to calculate calories that you've spent doing that. But this gets you one big step closer by actually calculating how much energy your feet are putting into the ride that you're taking. And that is phenomenal. So moving back to the automatic shifting, yes, it will show you all of that information while you're doing the automatic shifting. How did the automatic shifting perform for me and what does it do? Well, I'll start with, what should I start with? Should I start with how it did or what it does? What it did or it do or it does or it don't? I don't know. For me personally, the automatic shifting is not something that I would use on a regular basis, mostly because I already know how to shift and I have years worth of experience riding bikes of all sorts of shapes and sizes. I kind of see the automatic mode as almost like a training mode. If someone's getting onto bikes after a long absence and they want to just kind of run with it and get some momentum and see how it feels, I think that's awesome. And if they like it, if they want to keep it that way, awesome, go for it. So I'll play a little video for you in a sec, but this bike would shift up, meaning when I'm like getting more momentum and going faster, it would shift up really well. And I like that a lot. Click, click, click every time. Here, check this out. That kind of reliability was awesome because every time I came to a stop, I could just let it rip and not have to worry about anything. It was super great. However, when I was going up a steep hill, instead of shifting the mechanical gears down, I noticed that this system would just crank up the pedal assist to kind of compensate for that. Because this automatic mode is not only doing automatic shifting, but it's also doing automatic, I guess, pedal assist with it. And so instead of shifting down to go slower up a steep hill, it would just crank the pedal assist up. Now that was not like bad in any way. It wasn't unpredictable. It wasn't difficult. It was just not what I was hoping. So for a lot of my rides, I wound up starting in a pretty low gear. I'd start pedaling, the automatic would shift me up. And then when I would slow down for a stop sign or something, it would never go down. I'd say like maybe 4 or 5 or something. Now that, again, that's just my ride. That's what I did, mostly on flat ground. I felt like I wasn't really utilizing all the cogs on this set of gears. It's not a terribly impressive set of gears. This is a 13 to 32 tooth cassette, so nothing to terribly write home about in terms of the mechanical system. So how does this automatic shifting work? Now, I don't have access to the software, so I can't look inside and tell you with some kind of definition of authority. I'm pretty sure that this is just using a lookup table in terms of how it's going to change the pedal assist. A lookup table is pretty much just if this, then that. If you see these two things, then you do this thing. So while the bike is being pedaled, it's got some pretty good information. It knows how fast you're going because it has a speed sensor in the motor. It knows how much torque you're putting into this because it's reading how much pressure your legs are putting on it, which is awesome. It also knows the cadence, how fast the pedals are going. With that information, it's basically doing like a little bit of a 1, 2, 3 tic-tac-toe with this, where it says, if you're putting a lot of torque on the pedals and you're not putting a lot of cadence and you're not doing a high speed, then that means you got to shift down. Or in my case, I saw the pedal assist go up. That's what I noticed. Now, if the opposite is true, if you're not putting a lot of force on the pedals and your cadence is pretty darn high and your speed is pretty darn high, well then yeah, you got to put your mechanical gearing up. And so with this basic if-then scenario, I believe that's how this thing is working. Now, what would make this AI would be if it's somehow learning from the way that you ride and changing how sensitive those values are being examined. I don't believe that this system is ever going to do anything different because it can't figure out where you're going. So would I call this an AI-powered system? No, I wouldn't. And as a matter of fact, I don't think Blix really does either. I went to their website and I looked around and I really only saw some sparse mentions of AI powered, and that was only in some information on some of their banners. It wasn't really like a feature set like the battery that they put all the specifications in. So I think what happened is that Blix made an awesome electric bike and their marketing team just got a little overzealous with it. It's pretty cool and I like this bike a lot. I would definitely recommend it as a folding electric bike. It's lightweight, it's intensely practical, it looks great. The company has put a lot of effort into perfecting this system over some years, and I like it a lot. This is a good bike from a good company with good reviews and a history of both of those. And I would recommend this bike for anyone looking for a folding electric bike to toss into a trunk, last mile, for travel, or just for putzing around. It's a great looking bike that's intensely practical, and that really speaks to me quite a bit. So that's what I really think about the Vika X from Blix. Next time we're going to be taking a look at this thing. It's a friction drive conversion kit called the Pika Boost. I've been calling it Pikachu in the office here. Stay tuned for that. If you want to check out the Blix, go to the links in the description below. I'm Mikey for Blue Monkey Bicycles, and I will see you on the later.